We're going to be talking about why it is I almost shut down and completely got rid of STARTrading.
That's very juicy.
Very juicy, yeah. And it's all your fault, I'm joking. If that data did not show that you can actually get results, then I would have shut down STARTrading very, very happily. Well, not happily, I would have been very sad, obviously, because I love everyone. But I would have done that because there's no way I'm going to be asking people to invest in themselves, invest in their education to learn something that just isn't actually going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one because we're going into data.
Yes.
And you can't argue with data.
You can't argue with data, no.
Lots of things in life, when it gets hard, a few people just stop and give up.
Yeah.
Then we can get to those amazing results.
100%. Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of the STARTrading Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about why it is I almost shut down and completely got rid of STARTrading.
That's very juicy.
Very juicy, yeah. And it's all your fault, I'm joking. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one because we're going into data.
Yes.
And you can't argue with data.
You can't argue with data, no. And the way that we've done our data collection is really quite strict. More than one person, so it wasn't just me, it wasn't just Josh Jones. We had multiple eyes on the same prize to make sure you've got that validity. We also smoothed the data as well. So just to give you guys context of what it is we're talking about here, I am the type of person who I completely believe in trading. Of course I do. I've been doing it for over 10 years. But we decided to do a proper bit of analysis on how our systems and our strategies have performed over the past 4 years, basically while STARTrading has been in existence. And the reason why I say I almost shut down STARTrading is because if that data did not show that you can actually get results, then I would have shut down STARTrading very, very happily. Well, not happily, I would have been very sad, obviously, because I love everyone. But I would have done that because there's no way I'm going to be asking people to invest in themselves, invest in their education to learn something that just isn't actually going to go anywhere. So that's why I was willing to shut down STARTrading.
And we are still here.
And we are still here by the fire.
Yes.
But no longer in dressing gowns, which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll come back.
Maybe, I think it might do.
So we're talking about 4 years of data.
Yeah.
What data were you looking at and how many people were involved?
So there's about 4 people involved. And what we did is we took not all of our strategies, we took just our 3 main ones. So our 3 main strategies are our systems, our strategies that are swing trading. So we only take 30 minutes a day to trade them. As people will hear us say a lot, we should turn it into a drinking game. So it's only 30 minutes a day to actually trade these strategies. So we wanted to take those as a standalone. Yes, we've got other strategies that perform really well, and we might even do an episode on a new strategy that we're releasing. But the 3 main ones, which we primarily are the first ones we teach to people, we wanted to see, right, if you only traded these, what is the expected returns you could get if you actually stick to the strategy? And in previous episode 1 of season 2, we talked about how important it is to get your mindset right so you can stick to the strategy.
Yeah, okay. So you've got 4 people trading for 4 years consistently. And confidently and competently. And
confidently and competently. Now, of course, there's human error. Mm-hmm. So when we've gone through the data, what we've done is we've looked at, yes, the live trades that we've been taking, but what could have actually been done. So if you take human error out of the equation a little bit, we did smooth the results. So if there was like a massively high result from a trade, massive risk to reward in terms of massive reward to small risk, we've smoothed that down as well, just to give a bit more accuracy. So the results are phenomenal. If I'm being truly honest, they're not as phenomenal as I would have liked them to have been, but they are still absolutely phenomenal. But that's because I know what's possible.
Yeah.
And we have students who are actually outperforming what our data has said, because A, they're using other strategies as well. They're trading new variations of these strategies, which are maybe higher risk, and we're all about low risk. So, yeah, and it just gives us a really good framework of understanding that when we're teaching students, this is what you should kind of expect. What you should be looking for, and also stops people doing what most people do when they go live, which is over trading.
Yeah, I definitely did that.
Yeah,
I was telling someone the other day that it was probably between 60 and 70 live trades that I finally thought, okay, we're good now.
Yeah. Over what time frame?
A few months.
Okay, so even if that's 3 months, that's a lot of trades.
Yeah. And I think that's because, this is a bit of an aside, should we carry on?
Yeah, carry on.
Okay, I think that's because when we're learning and we're back testing, we're doing maybe an hour a day and we're trying to find as many trades as we can to practice with. And you're in quite a quick rhythm, I think. You're trying to find lots, at least 10 a week, submit them, learn about them, then on to the next one. And the pace needs to slow. It really needs to slow down when you start live trading. So, and also you're excited, right? So when I got the seal of approval to go live, I was so excited. So every night I was like, right, let's do this. Let's find loads of trades. Let's take loads of trades. And you don't need to do that. And I had a word with myself at one point because, you know, if you improve your account by 5% a month, that's incredible. That's almost doubling your account every year. And so you just need 5 good trades a month, right? So that's not a few a day.
Exactly. And I think it's a really good lesson to learn. We notice that happen with a lot of students who, when they get to go live, they get excited and they do that very thing. But then they learn that that's not the best way to go, and you're kind of starting to force trades and create trades that aren't actually there. And one of the things this data is going to be really good for, and we're going to basically be consistently updating it now every single month, and we're going to share those results with our mentees and with our students as a benchmarking exercise for them. So, well, if Lewis has taken 10 trades, but then the data says we should only have taken 4 trades that month, then there's a disconnect there.
So you're going to show everyone at the end of the month which the good trades were?
Yes. It's going to have a little bit of a time lag on it, just because we need to create the data and go through it, make sure it's correct. But also we need to find the balance of showing everyone everything, particularly in their early days, because I don't know if that's going to be entirely helpful early doors for their learning process. So again, the core foundation of Star Trading is to empower people. So we want to make sure that when we are sharing information, we're sharing it in a way that is empowering them, not disempowering them, and not making them reliant on us. So, which is why we'd always do it after the fact as well. And I've now found that when I'm looking for trades, I'm only cherry picking the really good ones, and then that provides better results as well. 100%. So there's always this balance between, and we will talk about the actual results from the data in a moment, but you'll always find this balance between taking a lot of trades, so volume of trades versus quality, so quantity versus quality. And early doors, people tend to go for high quantity, and the quality seems to suffer, and then you readjust, which is just a very normal part of the process of learning how to trade, and then you start focusing on quality over quantity, and that's when you start to really kick into good and consistent results.
And that's why it's so important to know your trader personality type, to take fridge breaks, and that's why I really like how Star Trading goes into the psychology behind it. It's not just here's the method, off you go. It's right, how are you feeling? What mind frame are you in right now? Keep an eye on that. Don't trade drunk or angry or what's the other one, tired?
Drunk, angry and tired, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. No, you can trade
angry.
Hungry, that's the one, So and that's part of the reason the mindset piece is so important, is why we've now, for our mentees, we're bringing in an exceptional mindset coach every single month to work with our students, so that we can just really help boost that element as well. It's a guy that's helped me a lot with my mindset, so shout out to Jay. And he's doing a really great job. We've gotten really, really good feedback off of that. Amazing.
Right, shall we go for the data?
Yes, let's do that.
Tell me.
So, I've got my little bag of tricks. Should I start with a big number? And then we'll work into the detail. So the big number is, and we always say to our students, like, look, we want you to grow your accounts. We want you to add in a little bit each month, but I'm going to give the numbers if you don't add in anything. But we have to make a couple of assumptions. So one of the assumptions we're making is that you've been with Star Trading, you've learned our systems, you've learned our strategies, you're now confident, you're a consistent trader, and we have to start the money pot off somewhere, albeit theoretically, to then give data and numbers and percentages and everything like that. So our assumption is you've got £10,000 in your account once you know what you're doing. And I say once because remember, what's the maximum we start with in our account when we begin?
Less than 1,000.
Less than 1,000. So absolute maximum. I just looked at the microphone like it was going to look back at me. Less than 1,000 when we first start, so that we can make mistakes on a very small amount of money, and then we can grow large. Around about 500 is a good amount. So once you are consistent, once you're profitable, once you're confident in what you're doing, then let's say you have access to £10,000 and go in your account. So you would have grown in that 4-year period if you'd used the 3 main STARTrading strategies and just those, added in no extra money and just traded them correctly. Then you would have turned £10,000 into £130,000.
What?
Yeah.
4 years?
In 4 years,
3 strategies?
Yeah.
10 grand?
Yeah. So that's over a 1,000% return.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is, again, learning our systems, learning our strategies. And I always do this, and I shouldn't really caveat it all the time, but that is without human error.
Yeah.
So you may have a day where you're sick, so you miss one. But even if you took half of that as a result,
yeah,
you should be pretty flipping happy.
Yeah.
And when I said, like, we smoothed the data, I've got more interesting data as well. When I said we smoothed the data, like, we had in that data some trades which made an 8-to-1 risk reward, meaning we risked 1%, and we made 8% growth on our account off of that one trade.
That's a great trade.
It's a great trade. But we brought that down because most people wouldn't have the comfortability to go for that bigger potential winning trade. So we smoothed it down. So we did that with quite a few of our trades to make the data as realistic as possible for people as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I think it's all the compound interest, isn't it? It's all the snowball effect.
Yeah.
And within the first 6 months, it grows slowly. And then you just keep going, you know, because some people will start and they might see a really small increase.
Yeah.
And it's very incremental, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's like anything. I hate that phrase, it's like anything, but it is like anything, like the stock market or whatever. The compound interest, you have to stick with it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because some people might lose interest, some people might lose confidence, but it's just the consistency, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've just got to keep going. It's not get rich quick,
No.
but it can have outstanding results if you just keep going.
And it's like there's a tipping point, right?
Yeah.
So especially if you are starting small. Like I started small. I didn't have more than £1,000 when I began, and I had to grow my account incrementally. And you can feel like, why am I bothering? Why am I doing this? Was it really worth me paying half my annual salary to learn how to do this, which is what I did? But then you just keep going. You trust the process, you follow the process, and you stick to it. And that's where you start to get really good results. And it is hard to begin with. Of course it is. But anything worth doing, as my dad always said, I always quote my dad. I'm turning into him, I think. I've got all the worst parts of my parents, like my mum's neuroticism and my dad's defensiveness, which I'm really working on. So, who laughed? So the one of my favourite quotes from church as well, my dad's quote was, anything worth doing is worth doing properly. So stick to the process and do it properly. Is your dad Northern?
No.
Oh, mine is. Maybe it's just that generation. And then another quote I steal from the Bible, not that you can steal from the Bible necessarily, but is, do not despise the day of small beginnings.
Oh,
I love it. And I've used that in so many areas of my life. Like, do not despise the day of small beginnings. Because yes, it may feel like it's a really small amount of interest, a really small amount of capital that you're growing by. But again, just put it into context. Like, if you're making 5% per month from your trading, where else are you actually going to do that?
You're not.
You're not.
You're just not.
In the bank, you might, if you're lucky in an ISA, get 5% annually, like on a yearly basis, not on a month.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And if you're in a high interest account outside of an ISA, which means you might be getting 5 or 6%, if you've got enough money in there, you're paying tax on it. Whereas with your trading, you're not paying tax, and people forget all this.
Yes.
They really do.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, why don't I just, I'm definitely going into sidebar here. People then like, why don't you just put your money into the stock exchange? It grows by 8% to 10% annually each year. Yeah, great. Do you know what inflation is? So, yes, you'll be a millionaire when you're 60, but do you know how much inflation is going to have eaten away at all of that money? So, yes, you'll have $1 million, but it's probably only going to be worth about today's money, about 100, 150,000, and you've waited 30 years for it. Are you mad? You're actually mad. Do you think that's a good option? So I get really annoyed when I see those influencers online talk about that. So, a bit more data.
Yeah, but also with the whole sticking with it and consistency thing, it reminded me of the group, the community, because you get a lot of people who are like, I'm so excited to learn, and then I'm learning, and then I'm going live, and then it's not quite working, and you can see that initial frustration of, I'm in it, but I'm getting a few losses and it's really frustrating and what am I doing?
Yeah.
And you're literally just in that first few months where you're learning the skill of it, like I was, where I was maybe rushing through, taking too many trades, and it's just getting past that bit, because I think there could, it's like lots of things in life, when it gets hard, a few people just stop and give up.
Yeah.
If you just keep going,
Yeah.
then we can get to those amazing results.
100%. And so shout out to Crispin, who, because everyone learns at different stages, right? And Crispin is amazing. So it took him ages, a lot longer than the norm, to master the first strategy, but he did exactly that. He stuck with it, he kept going, and now he's mastered all of our strategies and he's doing a fantastic job. Like, it's really like amazing to see. So don't give up. If you're part of STARTrading's mentorship, you've got the support that you need there, and you've got the whole community as well. So just keep going. Yeah. So more data?
Yes, please.
I'm glad I got to talk about Crispin. He's lovely. Three main strategies. We call them pullbacks. If you watch season 1, we actually revealed the strategy. 2 is reversals. 3 is breakouts. So as a win-loss percentage, so what percentage of the time you win versus when you lose. Pullbacks, you win 85% of the time over that 4-year period. Reversals, you win 83% of the time. And breakouts, you win 89% of the time. So on a likelihood to win, breakouts was actually the best. I mean, they're all pretty darn good.
Yeah.
If as a trader you're hitting 70% win percentage, that's actually really good, and ours are all higher than that.
I do like a breakout. It's a nice, neat strategy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite satisfying.
It is satisfying. So if you didn't add in anything monthly to your account using just pullbacks would, on an average monthly basis, grow by 2.2%. Reversals would grow by 2.5%, and breakouts would grow by 2.2%. So technically, over that 4 years, the best return each month as a percentage is technically reversals. But if you add them all up together, and I don't understand the maths behind this, I'm not the maths person, but my math data person assures me this is correct. If you add them all together, your average monthly is 5.5%. Which is really good. So it's just under double your money on an annual basis. And that's without adding in anything, which is pretty exciting. So annual growth on pullbacks with £100 add-in. Annual growth with pullbacks is 35%. Reversals is 32%, and breakouts is 33%.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So annually is 97.5% if you add them all together.
So you really are doubling your money each year?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's mad.
It is mad. So that is some of our lovely data.
Yeah, and you don't have to start with 10 grand. You can start with 1, as you've said. And we went through compound interest in the last season, didn't we?
Yeah.
So you can hear all the numbers, but also just get on a compound interest calculator and figure out what your pot is, and then you can plug those numbers in.
Exactly.
And get all excited.
Get all excited. So if you guys do want to know more about how you can trade like us and use this, then I highly recommend joining us at either one of our free masterclasses or a Forex and 5 event, which is 5 nights of coaching and training and mentoring on all things STARTrading methodology. So I think it's time for a snack.
Should we have a snack?
So snack magic, 3, 2, 1. And here we are. There we go.
Ooh.
I think it's my turn to go first, isn't it?
Go on.
Cool. I'm actually a bit nervous.
This is so funny.
What is this? I think... No.
What is it? We might need extra things.
We might need extra things. Ugh. Potted chicken.
Potted chicken?
Apparently it's perfect with mayonnaise and pickles. I could just dip my finger in.
I think you need some kind of cracker.
A cracker?
Have we got crackers?
I've got some stale crackers.
On toast?
And a bit of reduced
Or do you just want
bread.
a little teaspoon?
Just a little teaspoon.
Oh,
that was nice. That was very nice. I've just got a whiff of it. I almost bought you something like this, and I decided against it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, you had lots of fun last season with weird things.
That's true. But also someone did buy me an egg last season. Ooh, almost dropped my chicken pot everywhere. I think I need a spoon. And here we are. I felt very much like fairy godmother there.
We're doing magic on the podcast.
Ugh, it
Right,
smells like
describe it to the listeners.
It is a very beige paste. It smells a bit like corned beef.
Yeah.
You know, that nondescript meat smell.
What part of a chicken do you think it is?
I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Butthole. Probably just a bit of cartilage and everything.
What are the ingredients?
It says storage, the bin. Apparently this serves 4 people. How the heck is that serving 4 people? Ingredients: chicken, water, chicken skin, potato starch, salt, chicken extract. What have they extracted? I don't know. Ground white pepper, yeast extract, sugar, corn flour, chicory. I'm allergic to chicory.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I was trying to get out of it. And onion extract. I met someone who's allergic to onion the other day.
Oh.
Oh, it's tough. I don't hate it.
There you go.
No. I can see why it would be good on a sandwich, but also I can see why it needs mayonnaise because it's a bit dry.
Is it a bit dry?
Yeah.
I don't know who would buy that or why they would make that.
Would you like to try some with the other end of the spoon?
No,
okay.
Maybe backstage afterwards.
Maybe backstage, yeah.
Yeah. Marks that for 10?
5.
Good surprise though, right?
Very much a good surprise, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to open my cloche. Oh! This looks nice. It's snacking mango.
Snacking mango.
Oh, I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Dried mango.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? And like chicken spread. Nondescript.
I feel like that's what M&S do with just all the leftover chicken that... Yeah.
Oh, I'll leave that for now.
I love mango.
I'll have a bit of mango. And dried mango makes it sweeter.
Yeah, that's a good one. 8 out of 10.
Good, we'll take that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So you win.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's 1 all so far.
That's 1 all so far. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on this episode. We will see you in the next one.
Bye.